Good morning students. This session is for class 12th. Students, today we are going to study the most important topic of EMI, that is inductance. Okay, and after that we will study about self induction. Students, in last session we have completed the topic how we can induce EMF by rotation in different cases, like when a rod is rotating in external magnetic field, or you can say a wheel is rotating in external magnetic field, or a semicircular disc is rotating in external field. So we have completed these topics and today we are going to study inductance. So students, you can see the topic on the screen, that is inductance. So you can see here, this is inductance. Let me tell you what is inductance. So you can see here, inductance is that property of electrical circuits which opposes any change in the current in the circuit. So you can see here, students, inductance is the property of circuit which opposes the change in current in the circuit. It is very easy and I hope you understand. You can say in other words, the property of the circuit which opposes the change of current in the circuit. Student, it is different than resistance, because you know resistance is the property of conductor which opposes the flow of charge, or you can say flow of current. But inductance is different, it opposes the change in current. Okay, it does not allow the change, it allows flow of current. There is no problem if constant current is flowing through the circuit, but if there is change in the magnitude of the current, then that change is opposed by the inductance. Okay, let's see the second point. Inductance is inherent property of electrical current. It will always be found in an electrical circuit whether we want it or not. So you can see that inductance is inherent property. It is inherent property in electrical circuit and it will always be found in circuit whether we want or not. It means it does not depend on our desire. It is already present in all the circuits and it appears when there is a variable current flow in the circuit. It is not related to the constant current in the circuit. Okay. Third point, a straight wire carrying current with no iron part in the circuit will have lesser value of inductance. So you can see here, a straight wire carrying current with no iron parts in circuit will have lesser value of, lesser means कम, lesser value of inductance. तो ऐसी सर्किट में लेस या कम इंडक्टेंस होता है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, इंडक्टेंस इज एनालॉगस टू इनर्शिया इन द मैकेनिक्स. तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं, inductance is analogous to inertia in the mechanics because inductance of an electrical circuit opposes any change of current in the circuit. So the role of the inductance is same as the inertia in the kinematics. You know that inertia is that property of the substance, or you can say body, which does not allow change of state of the body. Okay. Similarly, the inductance of a circuit is the property which does not allow the change of the current in the circuit. Okay, so I hope you understand. And inductance is analogous to the inertia of the inductance is equivalent to inertia. You know that the role of inductance in circuit is similar that the role of inertia in kinematics of mechanics. Okay, so I hope you understand. Now we are ready to understand the concept of self induction. So let's see what is self induction. You can see here, whenever the electrical current passing through a coil or circuit changes, when electric current passing through a coil or circuit changes, the magnetic flux linked with it will also change. So you can see here, the magnetic flux linked with it is also change. As a result of this, In accordance with Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, an EMF is induced in the coil or the circuit which opposes the change that causes. Okay, so this phenomena is called self induction, and the EMF induced is called back EMF, and current so produced in the coil is called induced current. So let me tell you what is this is actually. So you can see here, whenever electric current passing through the coil or circuit changes, you know that if there is current in a circuit and this current is variable, then the magnetic flux linked with it is also change. So you know that this current produces magnetic field because this current is variable, so it produces variable magnetic field. So magnetic flux linked with the coil is also changes. As a result of this, in accordance with Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, an EMF is induced in the coil. So since there is change variable magnetic flux, there must be induced EMF in the coil, and this EMF is such that it opposes the change that causes it according to the Lenz's law. So this phenomena is called the self-induction because it is due to this opposition is due to the same coil, or you can say this induced EMF is present in the same coil. So this is known as the self-induction, and the EMF induced in this case is known as back EMF, and current produced is known as induced current. So you can see in this diagram, this one is the rheostat and this one is key. When current is variable, in this case you can see here main current is increasing, so there is change in magnetic flux through this coil is variable, and there must be induced EMF in this coil, and it must be in a direction which can oppose this current. This is Lenz's law. Okay, so you can see the direction of induced current is opposite to the main current in the circuit. Now if current is decreasing, so the flux in this is also decreasing. Now if current is decreasing, so change in flux is here. Okay, and this is responsible for the induced EMF available in this circuit. So now the induced current is such that it can increase this current because the EMF is induced due to the decreasing current. So if you increase some amount of current, it will take its fixed value. Okay, so you can find out the direction of induced current by using Lenz's law. It always opposes the cause by which it is produced. Now the next topic is coefficient of self-induction. So let us see what is coefficient of self-induction. The number of flux linkage with the coil is proportional to the current, that is N phi is proportional to I. So you can see in this diagram, if total number of turns is capital N and flux through each turn is phi, so total flux N phi is proportional to current flowing in this circuit. Okay, so you can say N phi is proportional to I. So you can see here N phi is proportional to I, or N phi is equal to some constant into I, where N is number of turns in the coil, or you can say N phi is the total flux linkage. Okay, so N phi is equal to Li. Now you can say L is equal to N phi upon I. Okay, you can rearrange this equation. So this is equal to the coefficient of self-induction. So if current I is equal to 1 ampere and N is equal to 1, that is number of turn is equal to 1, then L is equal to phi. You will get this value, L is equal to phi. That is, the coefficient of self-induction of a coil is equal to flux linked with the coil when the current in it is 1 ampere. So this is very interesting formula, or you can say this is definition of the 1 Henry, or you can say this is definition of the coefficient of self-induction. So if I is equal to 1 ampere and N is equal to 1, then L is equal to phi. That is, the coefficient of self-induction of a coil is equal to the flux linked with the coil when the current in it is 1 ampere. So we have completed the second point. This is the third point. By Faraday's second law of induced EMF, E is equal to minus n d phi by dt. This is the formula for induced EMF. This negative sign indicates that the induced EMF is in the direction which opposes the cause by which it is produced. So now we can write E is equal to minus L di by dt, because you can replace the value of phi from this equation. You can put in this one and you will get this relation. E is equal to minus L di by dt. Now if di by dt is equal to 1 ampere per second, then E is equal to L. So you can see in this case the induced EMF in the coil is equal to the coefficient of self-induction of the coil. So hence we can define, hence coefficient of self-induction is equal to the EMF induced in the coil when the rate of change of current in the coil is unity. So you can see here, this is very interesting result. Coefficient of self-induction is equal to the EMF induced in the coil when the rate of change of current is unity in this coil. Now you can see here units and dimensional formula for L. So you can find out the unit of self-induction, that is Weber per ampere. So Weber is equal to Tesla into meter square upon ampere. Now Tesla can be written as Newton meter upon ampere square. Finally Joule upon ampere square, and then Joule can be converted into Coulomb into volt upon ampere square. So you can use any one of the unit given in this equation. Okay, you know that Weber is unit of the flux. So for flux you can write magnetic field into area. So for magnetic field you can use Tesla, and for area meter square. Now Tesla can be changed by, since you know that F is equal to IL into B, so you can use at the place of B Newton upon ampere meter. So you can replace this Tesla by Newton upon ampere into meter. So 1 meter is cancelled here and this becomes ampere square. Now Newton into meter, this is unit of the work. You can say it is Joule upon ampere square, and now Joule can be written as Coulomb into volt. Okay, Coulomb into volt, since you know that work done in electrostatics is given by V into delta, Q into delta V. Now this volt can be written as V upon I can be written as resistance, or you can write this Coulomb is equal to ampere into second. So if you replace this Q is equal to I into T, one of the ampere is cancelled and T will be here. So V upon ampere becomes the unit of resistance, that is ohm, and into second. So you can see this is the unit of the inductance L, that is ohm second. But in practical unit is Henry. Its dimensional formula is ml square t to the power minus 2 a to the power minus 2. So this 1 Henry, that is 1 Henry is equal to the amperes into ohm second. So this Henry is equal to ohm into second. Now fifth point, dependence of self-induction L. So you can see a dependence of self-induction L. So L does not depend upon the current flowing or changes in the current flowing or change in current flowing, but it depends upon the number of turns, area A, and permeability of the medium. So you can say this L does not depend on the current I, means the variation of the current or the current flowing in it, but it depends on the number of turns, area of the loop, and permeability of the medium. L does not play any role till there is a constant current flowing in the circuit. L comes into the picture only when there is change in current. So you can see here, if there is constant current flowing in the circuit, then there is no appearance of L. You can say L is 0 for that case. But if there is change in current in the circuit, then um, this inductance can be seen in the circuit, and it start play, or it starts show its role in the circuit, means it opposes the change in current. Now next point is magnetic potential energy of the inductor. So you can see the formula for magnetic potential energy is given here. Let us understand how this formula is here. So in building a steady current in a circuit, the source of EMF has to do work against the self-induction of coil, and whatever energy consumed for this work stored in the magnetic field of the coil, and this energy called as the magnetic potential energy U of coil. So you can see here, when you try to manage the steady current in the circuit, then there must be some external work is done by the source of EMF, and this work is against the self induction, and it is stored in form of magnetic potential energy in the coil. So in this case you can write down U is equal to integration from 0 to I L I d I. Okay, so since L is constant, you can integrate I d I, and it will be half Li square. So this is the formula for magnetic potential energy, that is U is equal to 1 by 2 Li naught Li square, where L is the coefficient of self induction and I is the peak, or you can say the maximum current flowing through the circuit. Okay, so it is 1 by 2 Li square. You can change this form also, like U is equal to 1 by 2 Li into I. Now Li is equal to N phi, so you can say N phi I by 2. Okay, so the magnetic potential energy of the inductor can be given by N phi I by 2 or 1 by 2 Li square. Okay, now we are ready to understand the various formula for L in different cases. So let's see the condition and the figure. So for circular coil, if this one is a circular coil carrying current I, for this you can say, I am not talking about the constant current flowing through this, but there must be some variable current in this circuit, then only there is this inductance. So inductance of this circuit for any amount of change in current, because it does not depends upon change in current, so it is L is equal to mu naught pi N square R by 2, where mu naught is permeability of the free space, pi is a constant, N is number of turns in this coil, and R is radius. Okay, so this for circular coil, the value of coefficient of self induction is mu naught by 2 pi N square R. Okay, now for solenoid, you can see in this picture the length of solenoid is L. So for solenoid it is L is equal to mu naught capital N square R by L, where capital N is number of turns, R is radius, and L is length of the solenoid. Or you can also write this mu naught N square A into L, where N is number of turns per unit length, so you can multiply it and divide by L, denominator and numerator, and you will get this formula. Okay, so this L square N by L whole square becomes small m, that is number of turns per unit length. Next one is for toroid. You can see this one is the toroid. So for this toroid, L is equal to mu naught N square R by 2. This is also very important formula for toroid. You can find out the coefficient of self induction by using this formula. L is equal to mu naught N square R by 2. Next geometry is square coil. So if this one is a square coil, then self induction of this square coil is given by 2 under root 2 mu naught n square a upon pi. Okay, so you can find out if there is variable current in this square loop. So L is equal to 2 under root 2 mu naught n square a upon pi. Now triangular coil, if this coil is in shape of triangle and current is flowing through this, and this one has the side L, it means it is equilateral triangle. So for this type of triangle, the value of L is given by, since magnetic field is mu naught upon 4 pi 18 Ni by L, so inductance L is equal to N mu naught upon 4 pi 18 Ni by L into root 3 by 4 L square. This is area, so this one is magnetic field and this one area. This becomes B into A upon I. So this I is cancelled and the final answer becomes mu naught upon 4 pi 18 N into root 3 by 4L. Okay, so that will be the resultant value of the self-inductance, or you can say coefficient of self-inductance. And now for the coaxial cylinders, in this case you can see the L is found to be mu naught upon 2 pi r log E r2 by r1. So this is the formula. Now we are ready to understand the concept of mutual induction. So let's see. Whenever the current passing through a coil or a circuit changes, the magnetic flux linked with the neighboring coil or circuit will also changes. Hence an EMF will be induced in the neighboring coil or circuit. This phenomena is called mutual induction. So you can see this one is the coil which contains some voltage source, and this is variable voltage source because this one is AC source. So there is variable current in this circuit. If variable current is flowing in this circuit, then there is magnetic flux which is continuously changing in this coil. So there is self induction, but we are not considering self induction here. We are ready to consider the effect of this change in flux on this coil. So if we take the or you can say if you consider the effect of change in flux in coil P on S, it means we are ready to find out the result, that is the if there is change in flux in P, then what is effect is in coil C. So this is known as the mutual induction. Means if we change the current in one of the coil, there is induced EMF developed in the second coil, then this phenomena is known as mutual induction. Let me repeat the statement. If you change current in first coil, there is induced EMF in the second coil. So this phenomena is known as mutual induction. Since there is induced EMF, there may be induced current in this circuit. So you can say in a simple statement, whenever there is variable current flowing in one of the coil, then there is induced EMF, and if circuit is closed, there is induced current in the neighboring coil. This phenomena is known as mutual induction. Okay, so mutual induction में देखिए क्या होता है. म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन में हमें कम से कम दो कॉइल लेनी है. दो कॉइल में से किसी एक कॉइल को हम लोग एक बैटरी से कनेक्ट कर देंगे, दूसरे में कोई भी बैटरी कनेक्ट नहीं करना है. जिस कॉइल में बैटरी कनेक्ट करेंगे आप, उसमें जो करंट पास कराएंगे वो वेरिएबल होनी चाहिए. जब उस कॉइल में वेरिएबल करंट पास होने लगती है, तो हम लोग देखते हैं कि जो नेबरिंग कॉइल है, जब उसके बहुत पास रखी होती है, उसमें एक इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ अपने आप डेवलप हो जाता है. और इस इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ के डेवलप होने के बाद उसमें इंड्यूस्ड करंट भी डेवलप हो जाती है. तो किसी नेबरिंग कॉइल में करंट चेंज करने से उसके पास दूसरी कॉइल में इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ और इंड्यूस्ड करंट डेवलप हो जाना, जो फिनोमेना है, इसी को बोलते हैं म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन. ओके, तो ये तो हो गया म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन क्या होता है. अब हम लोग मैथमेटिकली देखेंगे, तो इसके लिए हमें यहाँ पे पढ़ना होगा कोफिशिएंट ऑफ म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन। तो देखते हैं क्या होता है कोफिशिएंट ऑफ म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन। तो देखिए टोटल फ्लक्स लिंक्ड विद द सेकेंडरी ड्यू टू द करंट इन द प्राइमरी इज N2 एंड दिस N2 इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू I1। तो यहाँ पे देखिए अगर इस वाली कॉइल जिसमें कि ये करंट चेंज हो रही है इसमें टोटल नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स N2 हो और किसी एक जो टर्न है उससे एसोसिएटेड फ्लक्स Φ2 हो, तो टोटल इस कॉइल से जो फ्लक्स एसोसिएटेड होगा वो होगा N2 बट यहाँ पे देखिए हम इस वाले को सेकेंडरी मान रहे हैं तो ये हम लोग इस वाले के लिए लेंगे। मतलब हम लोग यहाँ पे ले रहे हैं कि अगर इस कॉइल जो इसको हम सेकेंडरी मान रहे हैं, ठीक है, जिसमें हमने ये लिया हुआ इसके प्राइमरी मान रहे हैं हम, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे देखिए इसमें अगर टोटल नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स हो N2, ठीक है, और किसी एक टर्न से जो फ्लक्स एसोसिएटेड है वो है Φ2, तो हम लोग लिखेंगे N2 Φ2 इसमें टोटल फ्लक्स है। अब ये फ्लक्स किस पे डिपेंड करता है, ये इस कॉइल में जो करंट है इस पे डिपेंड करता है। तो हम लोग बोल सकते हैं N2 Φ2 इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू I1। इस प्राइमरी कॉइल की करंट को I1 बोल रहे हैं और इसके टोटल नंबर ऑफ टर्न को N2 और इस फ्लक्स एसोसिएटेड विद ईच टर्न को Φ2 बोल रहे हैं। तो यहाँ पे आप लिख सकते हैं N2 Φ2 इज प्रोपोर्शनल टू I1, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पे कांस्टेंट लगाएंगे तो हम लोग लिख सकते हैं N2 Φ2 इज इक्वल टू M इंटू I1, ओके। वेयर N1, यहाँ पे N1 देखिए क्या है, N1 इज द नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स इन प्राइमरी कॉइल। इस कॉइल में N1 टर्न्स है यहाँ पे, एंड N2 इज नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स इन सेकेंडरी कॉइल। इसके जो टर्न्स है वो N2 है, ठीक है। इस वाली कॉइल की S जो कॉइल है इसके टर्न्स N2 और P कॉइल के टर्न्स N1। Φ2 फ्लक्स लिंक्ड विद ईच टर्न्स ऑफ सेकेंडरी कॉइल, तो इसके हर एक टर्न से Φ2 फ्लक्स है, तो टोटल N2 टर्न से N2 Φ2 फ्लक्स, ठीक है। I1 क्या है, करंट फ्लोइंग इन द प्राइमरी कॉइल। नाउ M इज कोफिशिएंट ऑफ म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन और म्यूचुअल इंडक्टेंस। तो यहाँ पे जो म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन होता है वो किसी एक कॉइल का नहीं होता बल्कि दोनों या जितने भी कॉइल हैं उन सभी का मिला के होता है। तो M को बोलते हैं कोफिशिएंट ऑफ म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन ऑफ द सिस्टम। इट इज नॉट द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ एनी वन ऑफ द कॉइल but it is property of the both of the coil together and it is known as mutual or you can say coefficient of mutual induction of the system, ठीक है। तो अगर हम लोग इस वाले रिलेशन को देखें N2 Φ2 इज इक्वल टू MI1 और हमको क्या चाहिए, इंड्यूस्ड EMF की वैल्यू चाहिए, तो हम लोग फैराडे लॉ यूज़ कर सकते हैं। फैराडे लॉ के अकॉर्डिंग इसमें जो इंड्यूस्ड EMF डेवलप होगा वो होगा E2 इज इक्वल टू -N2 एंड d Φ2 बाई dt, क्योंकि इसमें फ्लक्स चेंज हो रहा है और इसमें टोटल नंबर ऑफ टर्न N2 है और पर टर्न से रिलेटेड फ्लक्स चेंज है d Φ2 बाई dt, ठीक है। बट यहाँ पे N2 Φ2 अगर N2 को यहाँ पे मल्टीप्लाई कर दें इस ऑपरेटर में तो यहाँ पे N2 Φ2 की वैल्यू यहाँ पे MI1 लिख सकते हैं, ठीक है। तो इस N2 Φ2 को अगर हम लोग MI1 से रिप्लेस कर दें तो यहाँ पे हम लोग लिख सकते हैं E2 इज इक्वल टू -M dI1 बाई dt। तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये फार्मूला हो गया इंड्यूस्ड EMF का, ठीक है। तो ये फार्मूला हो गया इंड्यूस्ड EMF का इस सर्किट में। मतलब इस कॉइल में जो इंड्यूस्ड EMF, सेकेंडरी कॉइल में जो इंड्यूस्ड EMF डेवलप हुआ है वो है E2 इज इक्वल टू -M dI1 बाई dt। दिस इज द अमाउंट ऑफ इंड्यूस्ड EMF डेवलप इन द सेकेंडरी कॉइल व्हेन देयर इज करंट I1 फ्लोइंग इन दिस सर्किट, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पे अगर हम इसको डिफाइन करना चाहें एक्चुअल में तो कैसे डिफाइन करेंगे, तो यहाँ पे देखते हैं इफ dI1 बाई dt इज इक्वल टू 1 एम्पियर पर सेकेंड देन E2 इज इक्वल टू M। तो अब देखिए M को हम लोग डिफाइन कर देंगे, हेंस कोफिशिएंट ऑफ म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन इज इक्वल टू द इंड्यूस्ड EMF इन द सेकेंडरी कॉइल व्हेन रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ करंट इन द प्राइमरी कॉइल इज यूनिटी। सो यहाँ पे सिंपल हो गया, यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं हेंस कोफिशिएंट ऑफ म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन इज इक्वल टू द EMF, यहाँ पे देखिए हेंस द कोफिशिएंट ऑफ म्यूचुअल इंडक्शन इज इक्वल टू द EMF इंड्यूस्ड इन सेकेंडरी कॉइल व्हेन रेट ऑफ चेंज ऑफ करंट इन द प्राइमरी कॉइल इज यूनिटी। तो ये होगी डिफिनीशन। ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग पार्ट है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, ठीक है, तो आप कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। सो स्टूडेंट्स, आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इंडक्टेंस एंड म्यूचुअल इंडक्टेंस In next session we will start from the unit and dimension of the dimensional formula of M, that is mutual induction. So thank you for watching this session. Students, try to solve the questions and try to remember these formula related to different geometry, because all the derivations are not the part of your syllabus. The direct formulas are the part of your syllabus, so you have to remember these formula in different cases. You can see the for toroid, you can see for the square, you can see for triangle, you can see for cylinder. So you must remember these formula, because derivations of these formulas are not related to your syllabus, but you must learn this formula to solve questions. So thank you for watching this session and try to remember these things.